Welcome back to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Anime Review, episode number 37. This is review the 30th episode, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind, but it is also the 143rd episode of the anime, Green Day and Oasis Part 1. You're thinking, Green Day, what the heck is Green Day? Yeah, believe it or not, because the fact that the creator of the series, Hishiro Hatama, I think it's pronounced the guy's name. I'm sorry for mispronouncing his name, man, but half the time I can't pronounce people's names anyway because they're Japanese. Yeah, he's a big fan of rock and roll, like rock bands. So he names characters and stands after well-known rock bands. Green Day is a rock band. They've been around since the mid '80s, and they're a great rock band. I've heard a few of their songs. They're really good. Yeah. Of course, in this episode, picks up right where last week's episode left off, where you have Borowski and Mista and Narukano. Basically, Narukano goes back in turn because he got affected with mold from last week's episode. He goes inside Mr. President, and of course they say, okay, when they go down, apparently affected with the mold. When they go up, they don't. And they show off what the other guys stand, the former patient, the guy who's the cameraman for this insane doctor. Yeah. Not only this man, I mean, I get the fact, yes. In the show, they mentioned that this guy apparently would not actually heal his patients. He actually, he would rather watch them die than actually do anything to help them, despite the fact he's a licensed doctor. Like, okay, all they did to him was fire him from the hospital he worked at. Okay, since the fact a lot of patients died, two things should have happened. Actually, three things should have happened. First, take away his damn medical license. Two, have him charged with multiple counts of murder. And three, throw this man in prison. Nope, just fire him. Okay. Oh yeah, the guy's clearly insane. Yep, so, and they show off his former patient stand. It's called Sanctuary. I'm thinking of Sanctuary. I know there's not a band called that. No, but there is a song called that. Yes, there is a song called Sanctuary. It's not that long of a song. It is roughly about 4 or 5 lines. It is one of the most quickest songs anybody can sing. Yeah, I'm not going to sing it right now because, well, I don't want to sing on my YouTube channel. If I wanted to, I would basically do a video of me singing, but I just rather not to. Yep. And they climb up the stairs. Of course, they show off the whole thing of, getting out of the stairs. And, of course, the thing kind of sinking. So, and, of course, Misa drops his gun. Of course, it gets absorbed into these set of stairs. And it turns out that the Sanctuary stand is apparently having him tunnel this whole thing. Of course, they also mentioned it happened several episodes back with the whole thing of Notorious Chase, the stand that was basically sentient, basically was still moving even though the stand users pretty much been killed. He got killed by Mista by being shot in the head. Yep. They actually referenced him in this episode, and last time anybody saw this particular stand, it's now become simply a myth. Like a mythological creature that hunts down fishing vessels in the Mediterranean. Okay? Yep. Because it basically follows the seaways of the Mediterranean. Yep. And of course, this thing starts sinking. And of course, they have a way to get up. Despite the fact that there's going down, like Mista finds out he has a very ingenious way to get out of the situation. First, he has Sex Pistols. That's what they call it. They call it six bullets. They're basically Sex Pistols. Yeah, named after the rock band. Never learned some music. So he takes the gun, has him shoot the ground, launch the gun up, this revolver, fires at a sign, has it come down, so they climb up that. Excuse me. Yeah, they climb up the sign, and of course they run to the car. They run to a car because basically Gordon came up with the idea of just take a car and go straight to Rome. And they get close to the car, but basically sinking the ground. So Borno Barachi decides to go after him, And apparently, despite the fact he's going down, because normally if you go downward, you get affected mold. Apparently, the mold doesn't affect Baraki for some reason. It's hint that something's really wrong with him. Of course, they show this later on. When somehow Gorno got out of the turtle somehow after they got in the car. I'm like, when in the world did that happen? Because in case last episode they actually showed Bruno getting out of the turtle. This episode they didn't bother to see Trish briefly. And of course, Nara basically just laying on a couch inside Mr. President. Yeah. Trish, of course, comforts him and cleans up his wounds. Yeah. And they hop in the car, and then they had to get out of the car because, well, the car is being thrown at with people infected with the, and of course, one of the people infected with the mold get thrown into the car, and they had to get out of the car via Rocky's zipper man. And so the doctor says to go insane. This is why I think he might kill the boss. He goes insane and launches his mold into Rome itself, basically creating an epidemic. Something doctors are not supposed to do. Yes, doctors are not supposed to create epidemics. They're supposed to prevent them, not start them. And he is starting an epidemic by all this freaking mold, killing like people. I mean, according to, I know this is the actual population count for Rome, but they say there's like 3 million people who live in Rome. And is he going to infect the whole city while trying to get to freaking Colosseum? Because that's where the voice tells him to go. I'm not going to spoil who it is. I'll spoil who it is when they get to Colosseum itself. And Gordon comes with a genius idea. Okay, we'll go after the helicopter. You handle the guy on the ground. And of course, Gordon helps Mista basically fire his gun. Of course, lands fires at the building. And of course, Gordon uses his stand to basically go a tree. But before I get to that, I want to talk about Bruno for a minute. Basically, of course, apparently, Gordon notices that Bruno is driving the car and looks like he maybe actually dead. He's like skin. It's like he maybe actually dead, and he's driving a car, and he just wakes up after whatever's going with him, and apparently something's wrong with his wrist. As for how in the heck this happened, it's never really explained. And also, when the guy who calls him, Sorko, his name is, and he calls up Karako, that's name. The evil doctor appears in these few episodes. This last week's episode, this episode, and he's gonna appear next week as well. He calls him up and tells him, that's what the Notorious Chase, this reference comes in. He also tells him that Baraki is not affected, is basically immune to his mold, which that actually interests him. Yeah, he's curious though, why is this guy immune to my mold? The mold is actually quite disgusting. Yeah, because he sees him, and of course he gets the crap beaten out of him by Baraki, by being punched in the face, like regular stands they just do. Now, when they had JoJo's stand do this the first, he did Odo. That's basically what he was doing. Here he's like, it's like, it's like, arr. Yeah, it's particularly a very strange sound effect for the Zipper Man. Whatever happened to the one they used for JoJo stands? Stardust Platinum. Yep. So, of course, how they get out of the car? Zipper Man. Yep. And of course, Mista, who's still parsing the moment, he needs to rest. So, tells the rest. Of course, Bruno. No. Of course, Garno knows what's going on. He suspects something is wrong with Bruno. But he doesn't say anything to the other people. He doesn't arrest him because Bruno orders it. So, of course, he gives suggestions like him, Misa, go after the helicopter pilot, and of course, Bruno goes after the guy on the ground. Despite the fact Bruno is technically the leader of the group, he does agree with that idea. And that's kind of the episode ends. Of course, they showed the Coliseum briefly. I almost forgot to mention that this episode was adapted from chapters 556. It stopped at 558, but it also adapted the first page of 559. But I'm looking forward to next week. I think it's going to wrap up the story with next week's episode. And going to show off that one character who's making his epic return to the series. For the first time since the Star Crusaders. I won't reveal who it is, but there's somebody from that arc who's going to show up here. You'll find that out when I get to the episode. This episode overall was really good. Good advance to plot. And you actually have Gorno, doing something, because half the time he does nothing, and he's the main character of the story. Isn't that quite weird? Yep. Alright, so that's it for this particular video. I have 2 more videos planned for today. What I'm going to do next, I have a review of the next chapter for the 7 Deadly Sins, and the newest chapter of My Hero Academia. Okay? But to this next video. Bye.